Hey, it's time to dish with D. That's me. Thank you for clicking on this video and making yourself a priority. I am Denise. It is Saturday, and Saturday is time for the WW Topic du Jour of the Week, my weekly weigh-in. Now, I normally attend Saturday workshops in Turnersville, New Jersey, but today my son was home. He came home last night and was only sleeping here. He's already gone. And Mama had to make him breakfast, and I would not have been home in time because it's not even 9 o'clock yet. So I would have made it home for him. So plus, I'm going Monday anyway, so I felt like, and actually it was supposed to be raining this morning. It was another reason. I'm like, I don't drive that far in the rain. I know. But I thought, he was home, so. Did you get weighed today, Dee? Oh, I've been weighing every day, like I told you. Sorry about that. And giving you the average of all the days I weigh, because I feel like one day doesn't always tell the story. I say that all the time. You have to, because some days you're up, some days you're down, some days you're really up, some days you're really down. So what is the average of all that? Well, the average of all that was I was up a pound. Is what it is. I have been saying all week that I've been hungry. I don't know if it's the time change or I've just been hungry. Maybe I just needed to eat more this week. It is what it is. We are starting a new plan, so I'm really excited about that. Was I a bit looser this week because of the change? Possibly. Even though I did a vlog saying don't be like that. But I am human. Hi, I'm Denise. I'm human. Nice to meet you. But yeah, so I'm okay. You know what? It's a reset on Monday. It's a new start. And no matter how many times I hit that reset button, you hit it and you move on, because not every week's going to be a loss. Just isn't. Especially when you're down to the last 10 pounds. Then you struggle, my lovelies. You struggle. Yeah, it took me last time to lose 10 pounds. It took me 6 months. I know, 6 months. So I'm hoping for a new mindset. The plan is not that much different. We'll know more on Monday, but I'm hoping that my mindset is more positive. So that's what I'm looking for. So let's get to the topic of the week. How to stay on track when eating out. I haven't even looked at this yet. I was just saying last night on the live, I haven't looked at the topic at all. Eating out. It's one of my favorite things to do is eat out. And I will tell you, Denise on Smart Points and Points Plus did not eat out. Denise did not. She was afraid to. Denise on Freestyle Blue Plan did eat out. Why? Because I got 0-point proteins. Yes, I got chicken. I got fish as a 0-point food. That made eating out a whole other ball game. People say, well, I don't want chicken. I don't want fish. I want a steak. Then have steak. Absolutely have that steak. Have what you want. Don't have something because it's low in point. I just happen to love fish. And I only don't make fish maybe once a week. Not always once a week, but so having fish, a piece of salmon, some shrimp and scallops were always a treat for me. So I always kind of went to that aspect. I like a good steak, unless I only get a steak if we're going to a steak place. Let's put it that way. I don't go to a diner and get a steak. I felt like it's, I don't know. I feel like you get what it's known for, and I tend to eat steak at a steak place, but that's me. And a baked potato. When baked potatoes, they're really low in point, honestly. It's the sour cream, the butter, the cheese, that kind of amps it up to a really high level. So I always got my baked potato dry with stuff on the side, and I would just add what I wanted to that potato. Or if you get roasted potatoes, yes, they have oil before you say it. I know that. But you just have to account for a little bit of that oil. So it's not like you're counting for 18 cups. It's a serving of potatoes. Give it a serving of oil, not the whole half cup. So I just love going out. I always got a salad, and it was always a great thing. I always got my dressing on the side because, you can control what you put on there. And some places put their dressing on. You always ask. Always ask your server for different things, and they're usually very accommodating. Ask, if you don't want any oil on something, say, can I have that dry? And they will do that for you because they want to impress you, so you'll give that big tip. So I'm always asking for this or that on the side. Even breakfast. I haven't gotten to the topic yet, but breakfast, most breakfasts come with home fries, hash browns. Now, Unless potatoes are 0 point food, I'd have to count that. Sometimes I don't mind some potatoes, but they give you a crap ton of potatoes. Yeah, more than a serving. So sometimes I would want a fruit cup. Now, some restaurants will say, well, we have to charge you for that. Okay, I get that, because fruit might be more expensive than potatoes. What really burns me up is when they do that and then they don't give you the potatoes. So you're upcharging me and I don't get the potatoes. So now what I do is I get my potatoes and I ask for a fruit cup on the side. I take my potatoes home and I give it to one of the boys, because I'm paying for it, I'm taking it home. Just saying. That's just a tip. And not all diners do that, but certain one. I know the ones that do. So yeah. So sometimes, and it's better sometimes to ask for that container as soon as your meal is brought to you, because if it sits on that plate long enough, it's going to be eaten. There's some days I have good willpower, and there's some days that I don't. And when you're socially talking, you mindlessly eat. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I ate more than I wanted to, because you're just chatting and you're hungry. And that's another thing. Going anywhere starving is never a good option, because you're starving and you don't even think. So I always say, trying to go anywhere starving. Hungry is different than starving. Hungry is you're just ready for your next meal. Starving is you haven't eaten all day. Never a good thing. That is never sustainable. If you're starving all day to save up points to go out to dinner, yeah, that's just not a way to live your life. But let's see what Beth James O'Keefe has to say about this, because I've talked 6 minutes about me. Someone else is finally doing the cooking. Yay! But you still want in on a different kind of meal prep. Allow us to explain. Let's see what she says. Try this. Choose a game plan to help you navigate an upcoming event or meal. Map out moves and make decisions ahead of time. I always, if it's a restaurant, most restaurants do have websites and they have their menu on their website. So I pre-pick, if I can, my dinner so I can plan the rest of my day around that. I mean, that helps. Not all do, but I would say most do. Create a plan to make an on-spot decision. My on-spot decisions suck. I'll tell you that right now. Now put it into action. It's when we go to Mexican, it's the basket of chips. It's the bread basket at some restaurants. Hi, I'm Denise. I eat way too many tortilla chips. I don't know. If they're homemade, if they're like kind of like Tostitos, I'm not too bad, because I can get them at home. But when they're homemade, it's almost like, crack. Not gonna lie. So what I do is I ship them down the other end of the table. I won't go past somebody to get them, but if they're sitting in front of me, you just you don't even realize how much you're eating. So it's better to take a portion and ship them down the other end of the table. Or if you're just just say you don't want them, or have them take it away if that helps too. Save up weeklies and rollover points leading up to an event for more flexibility. Now, I did a video. I went to a wedding about a month ago, and I showed you how I eat going to an event. And I will link that in the cards above. It gives you an idea of how I didn't skip a meal. I did not eat all day, because that's diet. I'm not on a diet. I'm not going to sit there and starve all day because I'm going to a wedding. No, I have to eat. I have to keep my metabolism pumped so I could eat that little bit of heavier food. So you got to go in there burning some calories. But definitely you can save up weeklies. Rollovers will still be in the new plan, so you could save up to 4 a day. Now, don't be starving yourself to save those 4 points for an event. If you can save them, save them. But if you're hungry, by Jove, eat them. But here's the thing. There are 0 point options. So that is what you lean on when you want to bank points. We have chicken. We have turkey. We have fish. We have beans. We have vegetables. Make a 0 point dip. We have fruit. Eat a banana. Bananas are very filling. I wouldn't eat more than one a day, though, but some people do. I personally wouldn't. But eat that. Like, grab some cut up melon throughout the day. So you're eating and you're keeping your metabolism pumping. But I'm telling you, don't go into a meal starving. Look up the menu. Say that? And pre-track foods, or bring a healthy dish to share. If you go into a party, you can always bring a dish. But remember, you're gonna bring that dish. Doesn't mean you're gonna want to eat it when you get there, because you're gonna see all this other stuff and be like, oh. You have to know that parties, and not a lot of people will say this, I'm probably one of the only people that will, let me know if I am, that it is all about the food. It is all about the food. And you go in there knowing that, you go in there armed. If you go in there and say, no, it's about the people. No, it's not about the people, because you could be talking to her, but looking at that buffet thinking, I want that. So you need to go in there knowing that and going in there with the tools to help you fight that battle with that buffet over there. If you're going to say, well, it's not about the food, it's about the people. It's not. It's about, and you think about that food all day. What are they serving? Ooh, I love her cookies. She makes the best desserts. So go in there with a game plan of, I always say, scour everything before you put anything on your plate. Yes, you should bring something. Absolutely. Doesn't mean you're going to want to eat it though. But I always say scour, look at everything, and then decide what you're willing to spend your points on. What looks the best? Because if you grab the first thing over here, you might want the thing over there. So I say look at everything and then decide what you want to put on your plate. And decide how much you want. Because you may say, hey, you know what? I'm going to use some weeklies tonight. That's your prerogative. That's what they're there for. So don't ever be afraid if you're in a toxic environment to use that lifeline of those weeklies. Eat a low point snacks before leaving home. So hunger doesn't derail your plans. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, you need to go fueled, because if you don't, I'm telling you, you're going to say, well, I was just so starving, and you are. So yeah, definitely eat low point, eat 0 point foods, eat fresh fruits and vegetables before you go. Fruits and vegetables are full of fiber. Fiber is filling. Drink some water before you go. Fill up. Just because your tummy is full doesn't mean your mind doesn't want it. And some of us have head hunger. So how do we combat that? By knowing what we're going into and not sitting there saying, I'm going just to be with my friends. Yeah. No, you're going to eat with your friends. And that's what we have to deal. We have to decide what we're going to eat and how much we're going to eat. So choose a 0 point food as means to make rooms for drinks, desserts, starts. That's another thing. Drinks, alcoholic beverages. They're points, my lovelies. They're points. And you're not at home where you could use a lightened up fruit juice to make your cocktail. You're there and they have, hey, maybe bring your own cocktails. That's always an option. You can make cocktails with seltzer. 0 points, just add a spirit in here. You can get a very nice cocktail for very low points using a seltzer and a spirit. Maybe bring that. Bring a nice low point punch. Let me tell you something. They're not going to know it's Weight Watchers. Just don't say it. Don't go in there and say, hi, I brought my Weight Watchers. No, because nobody's going to be like, oh, she's got her Weight Watchers. No, you don't tell people you're bringing light, healthy food. You just bring it because your food is absolutely awesome and they'll never know it's light or Weight Watchers. They won't. Bring a nice cocktail. This makes a fantastic cocktail. I'm making, what do they call, like spritzers. Spritzers are not on WW. I mean, they've been around for the dawn of time. You're making a spritzer with just your low point seltzer. So don't ever tell people that it's low point and Weight Watchers, because they'll go, oh, there she goes, bringing her Weight Watcher stuff again. Gonna be sorry. And here's the thing. I bring my hummuses. Nobody thinks they're WW. We don't even talk about it. I brought dessert. I brought dessert hummus. They're like, oh, great. It's still scarfs it down every time. Now I get asked, can you bring your dessert hummus? Absolutely. Of course I can. Nobody needs to know. 0 in on low point code words, grilled and broiled. Yep. Instead of the words like creamy and smothered. I don't like anything creamy. I don't like anything smothered. I like to taste food. I love things grilled and broiled. Because I love the taste of steak. Don't mask it with a sauce, because then it's the sauce. I love a good lean protein, and absolutely grilled and some herbs on top are fantastic. Be the first to order. Or use an appetizer plate at the buffet to avoid outside influences over what or how much you eat. Because sometimes listening to what everybody else is ordering, you're going to want to too, like, ooh, yeah, that shrimp parmesan does sound good. I haven't had that in forever. Order first. Kind of tune them out as they're ordering and don't really listen. Now, the salad plate thing, I don't really buy, because you're going to pile that sucker to the top. You know what? We have to get used to seeing, and I've said this before, space on our plates. It's all right to have space on your plate. Your plate doesn't have to be filled up. So getting a smaller plate it works for a while, but I say get used to seeing space on your plate and know that that's not wrong. Like, and you always feel like I just need to see. I mean, I was that way. I used to do the smaller plate. I realized, what am I? I have to teach myself that it's okay to see space on a plate. It's normal. Most restaurants, your plate's not full when they bring you your entree. Is it? No. There's always space on the plate. So that means that's the portion you're supposed to be eating. Make a few backup plans for potential trickier situations. Okay. If the host or friend insists to eat more or try something, I hate people that food pushers. I don't like that. Then I'll say it looks yummy, but I'm sticking to a few things I really enjoy. Or I'll take a small portion of each dish, but not clean my plate. Now, I'm always about the taste. I am. You know me. A bite is not going to kill you. So if you have to decide whether you really want it. You do. And then I would say take a bite. If you don't really want it, say, oh, I'll get to that in a couple minutes. Let me finish what I got here. They'll go away and forget about you. That's what I do. I kind of yes them. They're not going to shove it on your plate. You'll say, I'll get it. I just need to get rid of this. They're going to go and do something else. So that's when you decide, whether you want it or not. You don't let them decide for you. You decide for yourself. And I know you can do it. Everyone is getting dessert, but I didn't budget for it, and nothing is catching my eye. See, there's the thing. Is it catching your eye? No. If you don't want it, then don't get it. But if you do, then ask maybe if somebody wants to share at the table, or take some of it home. You don't have to eat the whole thing there. I know, it's like we could take our entrees home and we could take our dessert home as well. What does this one say? Order a fruit or flavored hot tea. Well, if you don't want anything, the tea will, but if you want dessert and you're ordering the tea instead, you're going to sit there staring at their desserts looking like some lost child. Like, only if you don't want dessert, the tea will work. But if you want the dessert, the tea's useless. I'm going to tell you that the tea's useless. It truly is. Ask to have a few bites of my friend's dessert. I always say that. Say, hey, I just want a bite. And people are really good that way. And especially if these are your true friends, they will be there to help you. And if there's somebody that wants to see you fail, then they won't. And there's friends out there that really want to see you fail. And I'm not sure why they're like that, but there are. There are people that are just not nice. There are people that are very selfish and self-centered. So just be very careful of your friends. My friend suggests we take the night off from tracking. You know me and that. Support her decision while making it clear I'm going to keep tracking. It's your decision, not her decision. If she doesn't want to track, then she doesn't want to track. But always remind her that you might regret that decision in the morning. What do I always say? I track to eat more. So sometimes tracking, it makes you aware of what you're eating. Consciously decide not to track, but be mindful and plan to start again tomorrow. That's true too. If you go to a place and you just ate like shit, it happens. It happens. You know what? Is it a crime? It's not. Everybody has a day where they eat like crap. What you do is the next day, you get right back on it. You get that breakfast tracked. You get back on your plan, because there's going to be days you're just going to not care. It's just like it's and sometimes those days are good because it kind of refreshes you. When you have a day like that and at the end of the night you just don't feel good, and now like it's a good reminder of why you're doing it. So always think of them as lessons, not punishments. Like I learned a lesson last year having too much sangria, and I vlogged it the next day. You guys remember that? I don't think I could find that vlog. I threw up the next day. And it was all that sangria is a lot of juices. So I had way too much. I was bloated. I felt like crap all night. I'm surprised I even went to sleep. I woke up and I threw up. And that's pretty bad when you throw up the next day from the day before, because it just never digested, because I ate, mostly drank too much, more than I ate, but I definitely drank too much. And it was a reminder to me, you can't do this anymore. And it was definitely a lesson learned. And I think a lot of times we need to learn these lessons. They only benefit us in the long run. So don't ever feel like you can't have a bad day. A bad day, though, does not turn into a bad week. And every once in a while, it's, like I said, you have those days where you don't track and you eat your face off. But if you're getting right back on track, it's not a crime. Let's dive a little deeper. Ever throw or go to a party where every single thing played out exactly as you imagined? If only. Yet we still prepare, plan ahead, and strategize anyway, because that's how we make sure things go as well as possible. You have to have a sort of a plan. Not a huge plan, not a big plan, but a sketchy plan. Because some of us aren't planners, but we can strategize. Me, I strategize very, sketch-alike, but it works because I'm not a person that can just put things, ducks in a row. It's just not how I operate. And some people aren't like that. And some people can plan everything. That's just how they are. The same is true when you're eating away from home, like a restaurant or friend's house. Science says planning ahead and having contingencies in place to help you stay on track. Contingencies in place to help you stay on track. Help is the key word. You can't control everything. Say that again. You can't control everything or everyone, because you can't control anybody else but yourself. Nor are you perfect, but you deserve to enjoy yourself, meaning it's okay if appetizers are delicious and you eat more than you intended. Absolutely. Same if you tried to avoid the breadbasket, but it was warm and right there. In those cases, you regroup, make a plan to get back on track and keep going. There's this one restaurant we went to, and they had homemade garlic rolls. Now, normally I'm really good with bread lately, but it was homemade garlic rolls. They were warm. Yes, I ate one. I might have eaten two. Did I feel bad about it? No, I didn't. Because A, I don't go to this place. It was in North Jersey. We're meeting Timmy. So it's not like I'm going to go there every week. Two, I had a 0 point dinner. I had fish and vegetables. So I kind of justified the bread, but I made the decision, and do I regret it? No. That's the thing. You make a choice. Don't live in regret. Don't sit there and go, why did I do that? No, when you make a decision, you own it and you move on. And I did. And I decided that's what I wanted. And I didn't even get dessert that night because I didn't want it, because of that I opted for the bread. And that you go in there with get what you want, because when you're satisfied, it makes all the difference. It does. And you would say, I can't believe you had 2 rolls. They were garlic rolls, though. Garlic herb rolls. At the wedding I was at last month, in the video, I don't know if I mentioned it, but there was a garlic herb roll there too. Yes, I did eat it. I gave up the pasta course because it was penne alla vodka. Not my favorite. I mean, I don't like penne. I don't. Not a penne girl. I'm a spaghetti gnocchi kind of girl, but not a penne girl. So I ditched that and I went for that roll. It's choices. I made the choice. Do I want the penne or do I want the roll? I went for the roll. I could have had both. I didn't. I thought to myself, what can I do to lower this meal? Pasta or the bread, Denise? You make the choice. And I did. And I was totally happy with that choice. Absolutely. Practice these strategies now, including giving yourself some grace, so that if or when you get into a full holiday celebrating mode, you'll be ready. You can ring in the new year strong. Like I always, Christmas week is usually my tough week. It's parties. You could bank all the points in the world. Doesn't mean you're going to have enough points for all these parties. Sometimes you have 2 and 3 parties a week. You have to make the decision, if you're going to go to these parties, are you going to eat how much you're going to eat? And are you willing to risk gaining a pound or 2 that week? That's a choice you have to make. And I'm always okay with that because it's a holiday. Everybody gains weight in the holidays, and I strive for myself to be normal. I think it's normal to have a few pounds over the holidays. It is. You can sit there and say, well, I don't live my life. People on a diet are afraid to gain. I've lived so long that I'm not afraid to gain because I know it's normal. And let me tell you a little secret. Those pounds that you gain over these couple weeks aren't packed on pounds. Like if you get right back on track, those pounds will go because they're not really weight pounds. Like they're not like hard pounds. I would call them hard pounds and light pounds. They're just like, you're not continually eating that way. So they really won't stick on to you. So I have to live my life as a lifestyle. In a lifestyle, you overeat sometimes. You know what? It's okay. I can't live like I'm not going to gain weight over the holidays. Or I'm going to just try to maintain. Like that's an unrealistic attitude. You have to go in there saying, I'm okay with gaining a few pounds. I try to keep it under 5 though. I do. And I've been successful with that for the last since 2016 that I've kept it under 5 pounds over. It's mostly Christmas. I don't gain at Thanksgiving because it's one meal, and I eat. Only thing that's really pointy on my plate is the stuffing. Other than that, it's a really good Thanksgiving, and we don't really go anywhere. We usually stay home, so it's. I don't worry about Thanksgiving. It's that Christmas week where you go to parties and there's Christmas cookies. Let me tell you something. Christmas cookies are the best cookies. And yes, ma'am, I'm going to have a few because it's Christmas and I'm celebrating. I'm not on a diet and I'm not going to sit there and stare at it and be like, oh, I can't. I want to fit into my jeans tomorrow. The jeans will be there next week. You know, they're not going anywhere. Like, what am I trying to prove not eating those cookies and sitting there like all proud of myself because I did so good at that party. I didn't eat one cookie. Great. Good for you. I'm so happy that that makes you happy. What makes me happy is celebrating those cookies at that time of year because that's the only time I get them. And you're damn sure I'm going to have a couple. I might not be baking in the house. What I usually do is I bake. Each child tells me their favorite cookie. And 9 times out of 10, it's one I don't like. So that's what we've been doing lately. So it's like nobody asks for chocolate chips. Because they're my downfall, chocolate chips. Peter asked for something with a mint. Timmy likes the crunchy jumbles, and so does Patrick, and so does Steve. Steve likes the cherry ones. I hate cherry. So a lot of times we'll make those cookies for them, or Steve and I, and they don't move me. They don't. So that's a good thing, too. Keeping stuff around my house, that doesn't drive me nuts, because I can't live with it. Going to a party is one thing, because you have 1 or 2 cookies, and you're done. But if it's in your house and it's calling your name, yeah, there's many a night that I've crawled into the cookie jar a few years back. But it's a strategy. You have to do what works for you. And luckily, like I said, they haven't asked for cookies. So one time, though, I do send Timmy back to school with chocolate chips. I make them and they go right out of the house. I may have 1 or 2. 1 or 2 is not the whole dozen, so... But that is it. Don't ever not go somewhere because you're afraid of food. Don't ever not. If somebody invites you out to dinner, don't say no because you don't have the points. There's always something on the menu. There's always light options. We have to look for them. We're always looking at the other things, but there's things you can do that make eating out nice. And don't, like I said, sharing is always a great option. Like for now, it's funny because back when I was at my heaviest, I never shared. Steve will tell you. Denise doesn't share, and I didn't. And I kind of regret that now because that's half of my problem. But now we'll split a dessert. I give him the most of it though. 2 bites though. And it's fantastic. When you fit in 2 bites regularly, you don't want it as much. And I was saying this last night at a live. Sometimes we put this food on the holy grail of a platform. And like we'll call it dessert. Like, oh my gosh, just dessert. I haven't had dessert since I've been on Weight Watchers. I love it so much. And you sit there and you have that passion for dessert. Dessert is just food. It's just dessert. When you sit there and take the power from that food and have a couple bites here and there, it doesn't seem as exciting anymore. Like you don't crave it as much. And that's a hard thing to get into because how can I stop at 2 bites? I can't. Well, you can if somebody else finishes it. So that's what usually works for me. By the time I go back for that 3rd bite, it's gone. So I can't have more. Or I tell them, I'm just gonna have a couple bites. So I've admitted that I can only have a couple bites. So if I have a 3rd, I'll look like an idiot. So yeah, I say it out loud. I can't have that near me. Can you put that chip basket up there? So they know. So I can't go for that chips. I've just admitted I can't. So for me to sit there and grab it, they'd be like, Mom, you just said, and I would look like, So yes, sometimes I have to say out loud how I'm feeling inside. And everybody has been really receptive, friends and family. So don't ever knock people. I mean, there are the people that aren't. Don't hang around with those people. Hang around with people that are a positive influence in your life. Do not hang around with negative Nellies. Don't hang around with controlling people because they will bring you down. Hang around with people who want to make you be a better person. And they're out there. And if you don't know them, I'll be that person for you. So that's it. I talked way too long. I think this will be a 30-minute video, so I do apologize. If you stayed to the end, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, join us here at Dish with D, please do. It's down there. The notification bell has to be rung for you to get notified when I upload and when I go live. And I go live here a lot. I do. I will be live on Sunday night here on the channel, so come join us for our Weight Watchers Changes Chit Chat. We talk everything Weight Watchers, weight loss, we talk friendship, because sometimes somebody needs to be your friend, and we are all here to help you out. So if you haven't joined our Facebook group, Dish with D's Crew, there's a link down below as well. And you can follow me on Instagram, where I post a lot of cool recipes, quick videos, and just lots of tips, and TikTok as well. Everything is listed down below. Ugh, I need a drink. Thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate you guys coming in here and watching my videos and subscribing. Welcome to all the newbies. I have a onslaught of new subscribers, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you, because the more people that I touch with content like this, it'll just help you out. It's all for the good, the greater good of our waistline. So sometimes I come up with some weird stuff. I will dish with you another day. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you tomorrow for meal prep.